Good evening, guys. Happy Mother's Day. How was your guys' weekend? Both of you that are here. We've got two people here. What's up, Phoenix? How's your weekend been? Oh, Fletcher, you're working tonight? A $300 speeding ticket? Where were you going? 90 and a 25? Pretty chill. That's good. That's good, all things considered. Chill weekends are good weekends. In fact, guys, speaking of chill, right? Mason so kindly made me realize that I have bags underneath my eyes right now from the grind, apparently. So I might not be streaming tomorrow at all. I might just take tomorrow and kind of rest up. It's been a long weekend. Dad's birthday, Mother's Day, everything in combination with streaming a lot recently during the Globex sessions. So I might not be streaming tomorrow. And if I do, it might be for an hour, like power hour type stream. There will be no Globex stream tomorrow evening. I have plans tomorrow evening. But yeah, just to give you a heads up. It looks like we opened up with a fairly large gap here. Let's see, how big is this gap? 400 down to 150. So 250 point gap on NQ. That's lovely. We are well outside of expected range on all the indexes. So glizzies, unless we see a massive drop of like say 700-800 points drop, which I don't think is going to happen, we will probably not get a glizzy print tomorrow or this evening. Yeah, lovely. So my glizzy account is not going anywhere at all. Let's see here, guys. I watched a few like other YouTubers videos over the weekend. Everybody is an ICT trader these days. I swear, everybody is an ICT trader. Especially like the younger generation, like Mason, if you're watching, like your generation, that is who they learn from. They learn from ICT. Like the lingo that they say in all their videos, literally everybody is an ICT trader. I couldn't believe it. And then you try to listen to them explain their reasoning for taking positions, and they try to sound as smart as possible. Oh man, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I only watched probably, I don't know, 4 different trading streamers, and most of them are just journal type streamers. They don't live stream their trading, or at least not, I didn't see any live stream trading. But they just go back and talk about their trades and their winners and their losers and buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity and this and that. And I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys, that is who everybody learns from. I guess everybody watched ICT's little mentorship program. Oh, Rice. Yeah, I'm not. So I'm never interested in the Sunday night opens, right? Like I'm never interested in it because it's just not. It's all algo bot driven price action. Like it's Mother's Day. Let's face it. Most people aren't even at their desks yet. Like the West Coast, it's what? Oh, I don't know. Coming up on 5 o'clock in the evening, you know, right around dinner time. But those Sunday opens are just like you're literally flipping a coin. The gap up is obviously from trade news over the weekend. China, U.S. Coincidentally, we pumped right into that 500 level that I've been calling out for, well, all of last week for the most part. You can see we came up, pretty much tapped that 100 daily SMA, kind of rejected off it a little bit. But we're going to see what happens. I'd imagine what you're going to see is this red line and this blue line start to round up. Obviously, the red line is the daily 20. It started to round up. If we're going to enter back into a bull market scenario, these need to be above these two. So until that happens, I'm expecting more upside. However, there will still be resistance. Like, you will still see some volatile sell side action. Going to bed now, Phoenix? What's up, Dave? Yeah, Phoenix. Yeah, get some rest, brother. I'm gonna do the same this evening, especially since Mason called me out on the bags underneath my eyes. I've been sleeping real well lately. I mean, I never really sleep that much anyway. It's probably like, I don't know, 5-6 hours a night. But I definitely, it's been a lot choppier sleep lately. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not overly stressed or anything, but my sleep pattern is definitely not great. In fact, I might even take like a sleep aid this evening just so it knocks me out. I did get a new key light over the weekend, so if it looks a little bit different on camera, that is why. I now have the full functionality to be able to adjust it via the Stream Deck. Really nice. New toys. New toys are always fun. And drugs. You're here, Tron. Yeah, I haven't been sleeping the best lately, Tron. I don't know why. It's just broken. It's like every hour and a half I'll wake up, be up for, you know, a half hour. I'm not quite sure why. The brain just wakes up and starts clicking. And I got to wind it back down, go back to sleep. So tonight I think I'm going to try to take a sleep aid and just get a good night's rest. And by good night's rest, I mean like 6 straight hours, hopefully. Let's see what we got on the DOM here. Looks like we got a little interest down through the downside, but obviously the majority of the orders are stacked above. Looks like up into 20,800, 20,600 being the biggest draw. I don't mind that 20,600 area. Looks like we got a wick on the hourly up here at 540 on NQ, so I'll watch that area if we trade up into that. But that's a massive gap. I mean, that's gonna be hard to know when the bounce is coming. What's up, DCD? How you doing, brother? Saw you did some fishing over the weekend. Saw Albu was busy over the weekend. I'm just now like kind of seeing all the differences that he made on Level Up so far. So we got a new logo, new icon on the button, a few new sections in there as well. Yeah, guys, we're probably gonna the Level Up server is gonna look a little bit different. It's gonna look a little bit different. We're gonna try and clean it up and go more simplistic with it. Um, with all the different roles and everything that we have going on right now in there, it's just chaos. So get it a little more user friendly, a little more consolidated. Obviously, a lot of what is there will be left, but there will be some things that will be changing and removed. Try to make it easier on you guys to navigate. What's up, Palm? The fishes weren't biting. Hey, there's nothing wrong with sitting out there and having some tacos and beer. I mean, a lot of fishing is kind of like trading, where you're just sitting around waiting for the action to happen. Well, since we're not going to get any glizzies, some melatonin. I think I'm gonna try like ZQL. Like, I've tried melatonin before. Sometimes my body fights the melatonin though, and then the next day is just a nightmare. Let's go to a little bit different setup here. Let's do something like this for the stream tonight, since we're not going to be trading anything else other than NQ, and we're not going to be catching any glizzies, unfortunately. Or just smoke. Yeah, DCD, my smoking days are long past me. They're long gone. Not ZQL? Why not ZQL? I don't know. I've had ZQL before. It seemed to work just fine. The one thing I don't like about taking sleep aids is I always wake up that next day kind of in a fog. Like, it takes me a while to get going because of it. But melatonin, my body fights it. I'm not quite sure why, but it feels like it takes me 2-3 hours after I take it to finally fall asleep. Mason, you're here finally. You lost track of time. I mean, Mason, what time is it your time? It's like, what's up, Invictus? It's like, what, 1 a.m. your time right now? I don't blame you at all. I'd imagine we'll be a little light on the views tonight with it being Mother's Day here in the U.S. Yeah, it's 1 a.m. your time. Yeah, that's what I thought. You're 5 hours ahead of us. But I expect a little lighter viewership this evening. It's Mother's Day here in the U.S. Obviously, West Coast is probably still doing their Mother's Day thing. Unisom? I mean, I see it on the shelves when I go to the drugstore, but I've never tried it. Tomorrow morning, I will still do my pre-market trading plan and rundown for the week. I'm not going to really talk about it tonight. I'm going to let the overnight kind of play out before I make any kind of predictions or do any hardcore analysis. I have driven drawing levels above current price, just so we have an idea about roughly where we should have levels, but I'm going to let the overnight play out before I Man, you're quite the expert on these sleep aids there, Tron. No. But yeah, I'm gonna let the overnight play out and see what happens on the overnight. What's up, Miss Bagat? What's up, Rabba? It's been a little while. How are you? Oh, Rabba, that sucks. Well, I'm glad you're getting back on the grind, but I hope everything's okay. Yeah, brother, we're glad to have you back. Obviously. Obviously, you can see a lot's changed since the last time you were around. Pivoted the streaming schedule. Community's growing. Things are looking pretty good. Happy with the direction. Slobbering like a baby. All right, Tron. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about meth. I've never done any like hard drugs in my entire life. But I'll take your word for it. Crack me up. Yeah, the level up community is growing rapidly. The pivot, Rabba, the pivot to the Globex streams has been nice. You'll see a lot of new names. A lot of new names. I think a lot of the new ones are a little scared and hesitant to post in the Discord just yet, but you'll see a lot of new names on the stream. A lot of people pop in with their trade ideas. A lot of different people. It's been a nice pivot. It's been a nice move. Like, the YouTube channel is, I don't know, we've got like 100 new subs in the last, month or so. Since we started doing the Globex streams, really a lot in the last 3 weeks. I want to say we average like 10 new subs every Globex stream right now, which is good, which is great. I like it. It's definitely more fun doing the streams when the chat's engaged, when, people are asking questions, people are offering insights. I can give mine. I definitely perform better during these Globex streams than I was during the RTH streams. I'm far more engaged with the chat. Like during the RTH streams, most of the followers at that time, like I've explained this before, are either following the big streamers out there and not really paying attention to me per se, because who am I, right? But at night there's a far less competition. What a pump. Coming back up into that 480. Let's see what happens here at 480. Adjust this level here a little bit. I don't know why it's off by a little bit. Not enough ICT traders, Tron. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. I was telling Tron, I think before you got here, I was telling everybody. I'm like, I watched a few, like, just random traders, and most of them are just journal traders. As far as what the content that they're posting on YouTube, where they're just, showing their accounts, going what they went over, saying if they failed or if they passed or where they're at in their prop firm journey, so to speak. And every single one that I turned on was just ICT this, fair value gap that, sell side liquidity, buy side liquidity, every ICT terminology that they could possibly throw out there. It was crazy. It was crazy watching it. It really was. I was shocked. I didn't think that. I mean, I knew he had a following, right? Like, I knew it was kind of like a cult-like following. But I guess I didn't really have a full grasp of it. But then when every single video that I clicked on was the same thing, their setups were the same, their dialogue, the words they were using were all the same. I was sitting there thinking, man, this guy really has done it. He's really done it. He's got everybody using his dialogue, using his vocabulary, using his terminology to describe market movement. It was wild, absolutely wild to me. Good on him. Like I said before, if it's making you money, I don't really care what you use. Yeah, DCD. I mean, look, these same types of things, like the setups that he's looking for, traders have been using for a very long time. ICT didn't. What's up, Savvy? ICT didn't create these setups or these market movements, right? Like let's just face it. It was happening before ICT. Traders have been trading those same exact setups or quote-unquote models for a very long time. He just slapped some name on it, like Turtle Soup or Silver Bullet, or whatever name you want to throw out there, whatever he calls it. And that's what resonates. That's what resonates with people. That's how they learn. That's what they've learned. It's just like it's kind of like I didn't know. Yeah, exactly, DC. It's just like Goose, for instance. Goose is one of his setups is a wick and reclaim, but he calls it a gang sign in a yum zone so that it sticks, right? Like with a different generation. He calls it a gang sign in a yum zone, because if you say wick and reclaim, people just kind of like tune it out and it doesn't stick. But if you say gang sign in a yum zone, that people tend to remember that. It's just like fair value gap is like a low volume node, an area of low volume where price moves rapidly through. Like that's literally what it is. Long at 464. Yeah, I don't know. I think for me to be long right now, DCD, and hear me out, right? I think I'm going to need to see a break above 500, 500 to 520 for me to be long. Just the risk to reward isn't great on the long side for me. And obviously, I like the bigger targets. I like level to level. So I think I'm going to need to see a break and retest here in order for me to get long right now, especially with this massive gap that we need to fill some of. So I'm kind of leaning short side. If you're asking me right now, in fact, I should have been paying more attention and hit that 480 rejection for a few points. But I think in order for me to be long, I'm going to need, because we do have a pivot up here as well. And guys, one of the things that I do know about like pivot traders, right, is this is R3 on the pivots up here. Generally, both to the buy and sell side, when you see breaks outside the last resistance or support of pivot, if you break through this and are holding above this last pivot level on the day, generally what you see is a big trending day to the upside. Same thing to the downside. If you break below the S3 support on the pivots and retest and are holding below, generally you see a pretty big move down on that day. So that is something to keep in mind as, you know, the overnight and tomorrow progresses, is to see if price gets above this this R3 pivot up here at 495 and holds above. We're probably going to see more upside. Yeah, Palm, you're right. A lot of times you will get I mean, you saw a reaction here the first touch. So a lot of times you will see sellers trying to hold it back below this level. You know, this is like last line of defense for sellers, in other words. Same thing on the opposite side for support 3. That's like kind of last line. If it fails, that you usually see one side getting liquidated or having to flip to almost hedge their losses. Looks like we got 19 people in here right now. Welcome if you're new here. Don't be scared to say hello in the chat. But I don't like having this massive gap here either. I would kind of like to see some of this filled. Mason. You saying hello? Yeah, I fully anticipate the views being a little light tonight. Like I said, Mother's Day, long weekend. West Coast U.S. is still kind of eating their Mother's Day dinners and hanging out. I'd imagine a lot of traders, once they saw this massive gap, if they've looked at all on a Sunday evening or not, are done. They're gonna wait till this gap either makes an attempt at filling before they start trading. I know probably Goose is probably done until Tuesday now. He's probably not even gonna look at it unless he just takes a small scalp. You know, like, good traders don't want to get involved in this stuff. I mean, this is a mess. I'm not in any hurry to get into a trade, I can tell you that. Guys, I did have my first red day on Friday in well over 2.5 weeks. Had my first losing day in a while. Didn't feel great. Kept it in check. I think I only lost like $450 on Friday. But I just wasn't seeing the markets that great. It just was not. For the first time in a while. Are we going with the hello train right now? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing, chat? Anybody else who's lurking, go ahead and hop on the hello train. Here we go. Yeah, here they come. Oh, you're lurking, pegs? Yeah, there's not much there's not much to do right now. You're kind of in the middle of nowhere, trading in the middle of nowhere. The 480 short looked good, you know, but it's only a scalp. It's not, I mean, you got point of control right now at 460. I'm leaning downside, but I would prefer a short entry much higher than current price right now. The only way that I'm going to flip long right now is if we get that break and hold above 500. Oh, are you Pegs? Nice. Nice. You took that 480 short? Well done, sir. Well done. Yeah, Driven. So, like, what you want to stay away from, I'm gonna give you a little tip here. What you want to stay away from when you see stuff like this happen is hitting this market buy or market sell button, right? If you want to market in, join the bid or the ask. That way you're not going to catch slippage. It's going to go on the closest bid or ask, and the market will have to move there in order to get you in. It won't just give you the closest fill. Do you see what I'm saying? So, like, definitely join the bid or the ask and stay away from hitting the market in, market buy or market sell button. And you won't see nearly the amount of slippage. Yeah, like on NAS, especially Pegs, like sometimes you might catch 6, 7, 8, sometimes more points of slippage, especially when it's low volume and the books are thin. For sure. Definitely join the bid or the ask. And the market will actually have to trade that price in order to get you into the trade. And then there will be no slippage. That goes to everybody too. Just to give you a heads up. Like if you're a, because I've always been a market buy, market sell trader as well. In the very beginning, but yeah, if you just do the join the bid or join the ask, the market will actually have to trade that price that you get in, that it quotes you at before it actually executes the trade. If you mark it in or mark it out, it's just going to give you the next available price, traded price, where they can match your order, and that's how you catch the slippage. It's similar to a limit order, yes, Mason. Similar. Not exactly, because you're just joining the bid or the ask, wherever that is currently. But yes, pretty much. It acts like a limit order. But nothing worse than clicking that market buy or market sell and looking at your P&L immediately and you're down $200, $180. I think there was one trade on a live stream not too long ago where I did it, and I was down instantly $300 on the trade. I was like, what just happened? What just happened here? I think I ended up hitting a winning trade on it, but I'm pretty sure I got filled like 15 points away from current price or close to that. You get in the market instantly, it's a $300 cost of admission. Crazy. Got you for 7 points. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even that though, Pegs. I mean, what's $140 instantly? You're down. You know, just because you hit the market. That's absurd. That's actually absurd. Those of you that are new here and are looking, if you like what you see and want to support the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button for me. We'd appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Also, consider hitting that thumbs up button. All the streamer things. Plug, plug, plug. No shame. And feel free to hit the or feel free to join the hello trade as well if you are lurking. Say hello in the chat. How was it? How did everybody trade last week, by the way? Pegs, did you trade it all last week? I know Palmetto, if Palmetto's still here, Palmetto had a great week last week, actually. I'm glad he's finding some clarity with the markets with those pre-market trading plans, actually. They seem to be helping him quite a bit. All right, we're coming back up into that 480. Starting to get interested. If we get that break above 500, I'm not opposed to trying the 500 long on the retest. Oh, nice, Pegs. That's a great week. What? Decent. That's a great week. Kidding me? 1,100 a week? I mean, I would take that. Just a new Pegs. That's so. I'm happy with any green rate, right? I've said it before. Like the majority of profitable traders make all their money, for the most part, in roughly a 1 to 2 month. Now, granted, this time is spaced out throughout the year, but 1 to 2 months worth, 30 to 60 days worth of trading out of the year is where they make all their money. The rest of the time, they're just trying to break even, right? Like break even, maybe small profit, just trying not to lose a lot. But the majority of their profits come in that time span. So if you are consistently making $1,000 a week, that's good. You'll take the little base hits along the way. The bangers are going to come, right? Like those happen every so often, but they don't. There's Tron joining the hello train. The bangers come. Like you just have to be patient and be able to catch them when they do come, right? Still be alive, still have accounts, still have drawdown to manage, to like kind of weather the storm, so to speak, until that perfect setup does come. And then when it does come, you know, you have that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 trade. What's up, Porch? Little gap open. Yeah, it's not so little. That's a big gap. Yeah, but 300 and 100 is not Pegs. That's not terrible. That's recoverable. You didn't completely blow it up, you know. It's the $800, $900, $1,000 lost days that really kill you. Until you have a decent account size, you know, when your risk parameters change a little bit, so to speak, because your account balance has grown enough to support $1,000 loss day. But until then, when you're just building those PAs or those XFAs or any kind of funded account, 300 and 100 is doable. I mean, are you trading micros right now? Pretty, like, just strictly micros? If so, if that's what you're trading is just those micros and you made $1,148 on that in 1 week, that's incredible. Oh, that's incredible. Are you kidding me? You equate that to minis and that's over a $10,000 week, put it that way. Think about it like that. So 10x your profits. That's incredible. That's incredible trading. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all scalability. You know, when you build your account up enough, you go from 1 or 2 micros to 4 or 5 micros. And then when you double your account balance, then you move up to minis and go 1 mini. But I will tell you, going the jump, the biggest leap you're going to make in that scalability is trying to go from 1 micro or 10 micros, 1 mini, to that 2 minis. Because now you're talking 20 micros. Do you see what I'm saying? All of a sudden it's exponential. It's not just linear as far as your scaling is concerned. So I'm not quite sure how people deal with it. I was lucky enough to just kind of start on minis and be in the right market conditions when I started building my accounts, that it made sense to trade minis. The volatility wasn't there. We were in a fairly big bull market. Yeah, pegs. I mean, keep it small in the beginning, you know, especially on those PAs. I would say safely, I would say a $4,000 account balance. You could probably start to try to go that route, but safer, I would go 6,000 on it. You know, on the safe side, that gives you, you know, 4 $1,000 loss days. And if you see like you got to make rules for like, okay, is the VIX like, is the VIX above 17 or 18 that day? Okay, I need to scale it down because we're going to see some volatility, or, you know, simple rules like that. I would definitely look at the VIX every morning to see, you know, what kind of expected volatility we're going to be seeing throughout the day. That's a pretty good gauge. You know, you generally want the VIX trading somewhere in between, I don't know, 14 and 18, 14 and 17, somewhere in there. Generally, if the VIX is trading below that, it's going to be a pretty muted market, usually slow grind up kind of territory. If the VIX is trading above that, you're going to see some higher volatility. The moves down are going to be pretty violent. That's just generally speaking. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right, Pegs. You've got it. You've got a good handle on it. Yeah, you seem like you're in the right spot, Pegs. You're in the right spot. Thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, we're coming up into that 500, so I'm starting to get a little bit interested. We hit that pivot once again. If you took the rejection, it was an immediate 7 points. I kind of want to see what happens when we float these highs up here, like this wick up here at, what is this, 50, 504, 503, somewhere around there. If we get the breakout above and come back and test this and are holding above, I'm not opposed to trying along up, and I'm going to keep it kind of tight. This gap has not even tried to be filled yet. So it's going to be small scalps for me. . Looks like we got 21 people in here currently. Like I said, I'm just waiting for this break above 500. I'm not going to front run this and anticipate the break. I've gotten in some trouble recently by trying to play those breakout plays, so I'm going to stay away from them. But if we get this push up to, I don't know, 510 to 520 and come back and hold above 500, I'm not opposed to taking a scalp long. Yeah, DCD, I can't tell you how many times that happens to me. It happened to me on Friday, where if I just hadn't touched my stop, everything would have been okay. But because of volatility or recent market volatility, you kind of almost have to move it to break even, you know? It's very hard to hold on to trades these days. And that's what I used to do all the time. All the time. I would hold on for 4 or 5 hours and never feel nervous about the position whatsoever. In fact, I generally, guys, when I first started trading, I would generally, you know, if I wanted a long position, like say I'm playing level to level, enter long here at 430 with the stop just below 410. And I would be targeting initially 480, you know, the next level up. But if I saw buyers start to step in, I would adjust this. And as soon as price broke above 500, I would move my stop to just below where it made sense structurally, this next level here. And I would just trail that way. And then as if price got up to the next level, I would move my stop to just below 500. As soon as it got above, say, 540 up here, I would move my stop to 50% in between, and that's how I would trail. But it happened a lot slower back in the day. It didn't happen as fast. It didn't happen in the snap of a finger or the blink of an eye or, you know, a Trump tweet. It was a lot more predictable. Yeah, Pegs, like it's an entirely different market. Entirely different market. It's just gonna take some adjustment, you know. Like we've been seeing it now ever since Trump's taken office. So once we get used to it, kind of, I think it'll become a little bit easier. At least I hope it does. I don't want trading to be super stressful, but it is right now because you just never know. We have those muted days where, you know, we have the usual 200 to 300 point range on NQ, but I want to say nearly 70% of the days right now are, you know, 500 point ranges on NQ, which is just absurd. Absolutely absurd. Like when I started trading, a 200 to 300 point move on NQ was a massive day. That was a massive day. You know, that was a 3%, 4% move day. Not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. I mean, Pegs, if you really want a decent read, I know you're a member of our Discord, and I'm not sure, it might not be worth it for you, but you can always purchase a YouTube channel membership here, and it'll give you access to my pre-market trading plans every morning, and that'll give you a pretty good idea, at least a layout of what you can kind of anticipate or what you should expect, and it will at least give you a game plan going into every trading session. It's like I said, it's entirely up to you. It doesn't hurt my feelings either way. But yeah, you can definitely have full access to my trading plans. Like I said, I know Palmetto's been killing it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's entirely up to you. Unfortunately, I can't give them away for free anymore. But because that's the way of me telling people thank you for supporting the YouTube channel. I mean, I hope you guys understand that. But yeah, they definitely I mean, the first day they hit a what was it? Mason, are you still around? Was it like over a $4,000 trade? I think day one paid for a lifetime, more than a lifetime channel membership for sure. Very first trade. And we're kind of just chopping right here at 500, aren't we? I'm seeing this block down here at 480. I would like to see it come down and grab this first before we get the launch, if we're going to get the launch. I do see an order up here at 600 as well. All right, there's the new highs. Yeah, DCD, here's the thing. These Sunday nights, sometimes you get 70-point ripper candles out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, right? Like, that is the one thing that's scaring me right now. And it will happen quickly. I realize the price action seems muted right now, but it will happen out of nowhere. It literally will happen out of nowhere. All right, they pulled that block from... That block's no longer sitting at 480. So I'm not sure if we have some spoofing going on. I'm going to wait to see if they want to pop it back up at a different price. Yeah, DCD, I'm not opposed to long if we can go up into the the 510 to 520 area, come back down and test 500 and hold above this pivot at that point, or even like a tap and hold for the move up into... I'm probably not going to target much more than 540, guys. There is a big block up here at 600. But I've noticed on these overnight sessions, they like to leave these big orders for regular trading hours. The majority of the interest is still higher. And you can clearly see that. I mean, now you've got orders all the way up in through 900. Almost at 21K. All that. if I can get a fill. Somewhere around 80, I'm not opposed to trying the long. But if we don't get that pullback, my next read would be what I was saying before. 510 to 520, come back and hold above this pivot here. All right, DCD. We'll see you in a little bit. I may or may not still be streaming when you get back. I really want the pullback into 480. That would be my ideal long. I just don't know if we're going to get that. It's feeling like upside currently. Dead market, go fill gap for fun, Mason says. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get that fill tonight. There's too much interest higher and not a lot below. And especially with the news, Mason, I have a feeling that they're going to leave this gap for later. Let's put it that way. But man, wouldn't we love a gap fill at this point? That would be a crazy move. But this is pretty muted as well. We could be in just slow grind. I mean, the daily is obviously green, right? And we have a little more room to go up here to the top of these wicks. It feels like this 540 area is the eventual target. You got the daily 100 SMA at 530. I just would like a pullback to get in for that test. It's gonna be really hard to hop on at the highs. Looks like everybody else is saying the same thing. I'm seeing people just dropping off like flies off the stream, Mason. We're down to like 13 viewers. Thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out. I had nothing else to do this evening. Yeah, Mason, I fully anticipated lower views this evening, for sure, as far as the stream's concerned. I anticipated lower numbers. You here for the free cash, Tron? Oh yeah, Pegs. I'm glad you find value here as well. Hopefully, newer traders do. You know, I've been in the beginning trading shoes before. I've been there. I wish that there would have been someone kind of like that I could have done that with as well. Trades by Matt was kind of that for a while too, which is why I watched him. It was kind of honest, you know, free education kind of thing. But you don't really have a whole lot of that out there. They're very few and far between. Most of them are, if they are giving away somewhat free information, generally it's tied into, hey, join my Discord, join my mentorship, you know, that kind of stuff. That's why I like TBM. He didn't have a mentorship program or anything like that. He had his memberships, but they were relatively cheap as well. It was like $5 a month. Same. He wasn't looking for a $2,000 payday out of everybody, you know? Because that's literally what these guys are charging for those mentorship programs. And then what's even better is, from what I've heard, I've never purchased one, but like, you know, you get into these $2,000 mentorship programs and you get in there and it's the same. You're not learning anything new. You get to see them trade live for an hour every day. And more often than not, losing during that hour. More often than not. Like, don't get me wrong. We all take losses. Like, I'm not saying that at all. And I realize there's more trading than just what you see on a live stream. Yeah, exactly, Pegs. Exactly. I think psychologically you see a big price tag on things and you think, oh, there must be great value. You know, like this is definitely worth the cost of admission. But a lot of times that's why they throw the big price tag on there. You know, you're not learning anything new, really. There's definitely enough free content out there to learn what you need to learn. Really, trading's all about finding the strategy that suits your personality best. You know, like what are you comfortable with? What are you comfortable doing? What does your eye see? How does it trigger your brain into saying, okay, this is a highly probable setup? I mean, that's a lot of what trading is. That's how I settled on, you know, simple support and resistance, because I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. I needed to find a way, if I was going to continue to do this thing and do it successfully, I needed to find a strategy that suited my personality, which is kind of laid back, you know, patient. And this is what I settled on. And I needed to look for one or two setups that I could look for and repeat that over and over and over. Yeah, Pegs, that's the thing, though. What works for him might not work for everybody. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't know how... you know, a lot of... Was he willing to take time one-on-one at that $600 price tag? You know, that's the key. Like if you're gonna pay, you know, $600, $700, $1,800, You wait, you hear from my genius? There's no genius here, Tron. I mean, others may argue differently, right? They might say something different, but there's really no crazy crazy science behind what I do. It's relatively simple. My goal is just to teach people what made me successful, right? Like I want to see everybody making money. It's as simple as that. I'm not looking to like get in your pockets and take all your money from you along the way either. I would rather see you making all that money. Oh, Pegs, yeah, he's trading individual symbols. Yeah, it's a little different. You sort of need them to go in one direction. At least with futures. The downside of futures is they are such highly leveraged assets, right? Like it's a highly levered thing, but stocks, you need them to go up in order to make money. It's as simple as that. Like you're waiting for price to come back to a buy price so that you can get long and hold for periods of time. Either that or have a big enough account to throw a lot of money at for looking for a 50-cent move on the symbol. That's the only way you can do it. But you need it to go up in order to make money, unless you're trading options. Oh, he's with SMB? Okay. Yeah, Pegs. I mean, if you're a beginner, like, what you don't want is this overinflated, vast vocabulary to explain simple market movement, right? Like, you don't want... I kind of think ICT does that. And you hear these other guys who are trying to trade ICT concepts and they can't fully grasp or they can't explain what they're actually saying, when in reality it's a really simple market movement. But they can't put it into words because it's an inflated vocabulary, almost a made up vocabulary. But yeah, I mean, what I do is pretty much trading for dummies. It's really easy to explain. That's why I do it. Tron, overinflated. Look, when you've made up names like Turtle Soup for or Silver Bullet for... Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Exactly. I mean, trading's hard enough. Why make it more difficult? Do you see what I'm saying? Trading on a Sunday is wild work. Yeah, Banana. Yeah, Goose, not doing much trading. Kind of just sitting here watching and hanging out. There is no trades. I mean, we are well outside of expected range with a massive gap on every index. I'm not like in any hurry to get into a position. Five days in a row? Really, Goose? Oh, no, Goose, you had one trade. You had one trade on our collab stream. One trade. You tried to sneak it in on me while I was off camera. I think it was a break-even trade, though. You don't count the break even? Okay. Yeah, Goose, that's how I feel about my entire Glizzy series account right now. It's just like straight sideways. It's positive, don't get me wrong. What am I up? $242 on that account? You know, look out now. Look out now. But it's basically just a bunch of break evens. Small losses, small wins. Order book or price action? A little bit of both for Oz. A little bit of both. I mean, you can see my Dom over here, right? Like, I'm using both. But majority price action. Simple support and resistance. I try to not overcomplicate trading a whole lot. Yeah, Goose, I mean, look at this. I mean, we are nowhere near. Like, nowhere near. It would take what? What are we looking at? Probably like at least a move back below 20K and then a rebound and maybe another attempt down in order to even get the channel somewhat near reasonable, you know? Like, yeah, we're not a good look. Not a great look. Do I like the 480 buy? What I'd want to see at 480 is kind of a wick and reclaim at this point. Like maybe a wick down to, you know, low 70s, mid to low 70s, and then a reclaim back above 80 and a hold for another leg up. But the only other move that I would see right now is a clean break up into like 520, come back down and hold above 500 for the move up into, I would only target 540. I wouldn't target. Targets need to be reduced right now with this major gap sitting below. But it looks like we might get that pump up there right now relatively quick. You got this block up here at 600. That feels like a magnet right now. At least for the overnight session, you know. But this feels like a gap and go situation. Yeah, like I said, for those of you who tuned in late, I probably won't stream it all tomorrow. I've got plans tomorrow evening. Best time frame to trade gold or Forex for support? Faraz, I really don't trade either of those. Gold is highly levered as far as futures are concerned, so I kind of steer clear for it. Forex, I've never dealt with. We do have currency futures that I would dabble in from time to time, probably, if I had a good read on it, but I'm not really sure. Goose, do you have any suggestions for Faraz there? I've never really traded gold or Forex. Faraz, I'll be honest with you. The first time I've looked at gold was last week, and it was on a naked chart because somebody asked in my chat as well. That was the first time I've ever really looked at a gold chart. I know Banana Bread trades there in the chat. He's traded gold before. He's got a lot of experience with trading. I don't know if he's ever dabbled with Forex. I'm not sure many people that are in my community have, to tell you the truth. Glizzy's the only thing you gold on. All right. But Faraz, just to preface this, Banana Bread trades that you see in the chat there, he's a mean reversion trader. So that's what he said. When he says glizzy, that's what he's talking about. He only plays mean reversions on gold. The glizzy is an indicator that he created himself as well. It's kind of what you see on this chart. But what it entails is the Keltner channel. He's got his expected range, both buy and sell areas, and then he's got his oscillator down here, which is a harmonics-based oscillator. But we are far away from being able to get any print on that. Long way away. To those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm sure we got a few lurkers. Don't be scared to say hello in the chat. Goose, I will, I haven't read through that whole chat dialogue with Chris and Brian just yet. I will respond in there shortly. I'm sure they're talking scheduling. Yeah, I do know that. Oh, okay, so Faraz, he is right there. I think. How is the performance of this indicator? It depends. Okay, so my performance isn't indicative of how well it could be, right? It needs to be used in conjunction with other things. Still, you know, it's not just, hey, print signal, get into position. But it basically is Banana Bread Trade's trading strategy tied, like he's coded his strategy and what he trades, and he's highly profitable. Highly profitable. One of the better traders I've seen, hands down. And I've seen a lot of traders, but he's very, very consistent. He does it the right way, and is not afraid to be completely transparent with his trading. Except last week. Yeah, but Goose, it was a good week to take off, brother. You know? I mean, I actually traded really well over the last, I'll say 2.5 weeks, really. Friday was my first red day in nearly 3 weeks. But I feel like I've been seeing it pretty clearly. Well, it looks like we're getting that move up now. This 530 level is the daily 100 SMA. You can see we're kind of touching it right now. I would look for some reaction here, 530 to 540. What's this wick? This daily wick right here, maybe 580, 580-ish. 582. We could see a move up there. What's this wick at? I mean, yeah, that's really the next stop. Really don't see a whole lot, because we've already gotten through this resistance down here, these downside wicks. We're above this, or we're right at this wick right here. So we're right at possible resistance right now. So I do expect some selling pressure to come in here, but this block up at 600 is kind of scaring me at any short side right now. It definitely feels like a gap and go. Oh, Rabba, you went long at the R3 on the retest. Nice. Nice. My target would be 540. I would keep it small. Lock in profits. Start the week off green. Especially if you're just getting back into it, Rabba. But who knows? We could moonshot. I have no idea what's going to happen here. No idea. If you're new here and lurking and want to support the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. All right, there's 540. Nice, you're going for 575. Okay. Just front running that daily wick. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. You might have a little bit of resistance here. You might have a little pullback. I don't know how strong it's going to be, though. You don't really have a lot of interest lower. All the interest is higher. Well, guys, that was pretty much the trade I was going to look for tonight. Target would be the daily wick on the 27th. Yeah. I mean, Robba, there's nothing wrong. If I was trailing right now, my trailing would be... Honestly, I would have it right below 530. I wouldn't want to even see this wick test here. I'll be honest with you. 100%, especially on a Sunday night with this major gap down here below. I would want to see this thing just accelerate higher. I would not want to see any kind of resistance step in and have this thing start pulling back. If you get up towards 560, my stop would be just below 540 at that point. Oh, yeah. Nice, Rabba. You're one step ahead of me then. You are one step ahead of me, sir. But remember what I said earlier, guys, if you were around. This is resistance R3, resistance 3 on the pivots. Generally, when you see a break outside these pivots, it's a pretty good trend continuation type setup. Both to the top side if you're above R3 and if you're below support 3. Support 3, if you fall below to the downside, it's generally a pretty heavy down day. Same with breaking resistance 3 to the top side. So I would expect more continuation higher until I would be long biased until you're back below this last line of resistance on the pivots. The daily, we are testing the daily 100 SMA. So long until wrong, I guess. All right, y'all. I'm probably going to kill it there for the evening. I'm starting to get a little sleepy. I need to get some rest. Get rejuvenated for the upcoming week. Like I said, tomorrow I'm not sure if I'm going to stream. If I am going to stream, it'll probably be like a power hour stream. I will write my trading plan for those of you that are members of the YouTube channel in the morning. It'll be posted on the Discord. If you are new here and watching and want to join a free trading Discord, it's called Level Up. There is a link in the description down below. Feel free to join up. Lots of good traders in there. It's a fun community. Doesn't really matter what you trade. Everybody's welcome. Beginner, intermediate, experienced. What? Market just starting, Tron says. Yeah, I got to get some rest tonight, Tron. Mason called me out for the major bags under my eyes. Are you kidding me? I got to do something here. I'm not looking to start the week out on a bad note, and getting involved anywhere up in this area for me is not it. Let's put it that way. I've learned my lesson. I've been trading for long enough now to know where I have my edge, and this ain't it. So yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're still trading, trade safe, stay patient, and I will see you all either tomorrow during Power Hour, or we will see you Tuesday evening for the Globex session. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Peace.